A little bit under a year ago, I reviewed the TCL QM8 and you guys absolutely loved it. This TV had beautiful colors, a slick design, and this TV was stunning in every way that you could think about. But that wasn't enough. I then compared it against some other models that were hot on the market at the time, and a lot of people in the comment section preferred the TCL over most of the televisions that I reviewed the television against, which made it one of the best value televisions that you could get in 2024. According to Forbes, TCL increased their market share from 11% to 17% year over year in Q3. Not only is TCL gaining market share, but they also have a focus on 75-inch TVs and larger, and they feel that that's going to grow their business over time. Now, after all, think about it. When was the last time you was at the movie theaters? Chances are you're watching your movies at home, and why not experience on the television that we're going to talk about today, the QM8. The QM851G is a massive television. It's over 4 feet tall and 7 feet wide, so it's going to take a larger stand to mount it on. This TV has the legs on the side, so you won't be able to put them on a smaller stand, but you can wall mount this television. This TV is powered by Google operating system, and you can use the voice remote control, or you can program it just to say the Google command out loud. Now, I will tell you that when you turn off the microphones on the television, you will see 4 LEDs on the front of it to indicate that the microphone is muted. This TV does come with a backlit remote, and whenever you set it down, the lights will go off after a few seconds. The back panel is smooth and it has 6 speakers in it, and this includes 2 10-watt subwoofers. And from the side, you can see it's a thicker TV, and this is a premium QLED mini LED television. The QM8 has 4 HDMI inputs. 2 of them are 60 Hz and one of those outputs for eARC. And then it has 2 separate HDMI 2.1s that can deliver up to 144 Hz using variable refresh rate. And this whole series of QM8s also supports ATSC 3.0 TV tuner for the next generation of television content. In my opinion, I think TCL still thinks about the average consumers, and what I mean by this is that this TV still has an analog output, so you can run a 3.5 millimeter to RCAs and hook it up to any type of speaker that you like. It also has a AV input, so if you have an older VCR, you can get an adapter and hook it up to this television. And yes, it still has a fiber optic output. Watching movies on this television is a game changer. This is the first time I got to experience a huge television like this in the studio, and I would say that it was mind-blowing to see how good the quality is on it. Now, this TV can produce up to 5,000 nits, and it has almost 3,000 local dimming zones. So what this means is that you're going to get all the details on a movie that you've been missing all these years, especially getting a television like this. Next, we're going to take a look at some picture profiles so you can see some of the different settings this TV has depending on SDR, HDR10, or Dolby Vision. So let's take a look at these picture profiles, and right now the TV is in vivid mode. And one thing you notice on vivid mode that the brightness is preset at 100%. Then we can go down to low powered mode. It makes the TV a lot softer, but it's interesting that the brightness is still at 100%. Then we have Smart HDR, and this is to simulate a HDR picture on SDR content, and movie mode that gives it that nice warm look to it. And notice here that the brightness is at 30%, so we can pump that up a little bit, but if you like the picture that comes out of the box, I think you're fine at 30% because this TV is extremely bright. So here's the HDR10 settings, and as you can see here, a lot of the picture looks very similar as it did on SDR mode. I would say that the brightness on this TV is just insane, especially at 100%. So that's something you definitely want to turn down. Now we have it in Dolby Vision mode, and the picture looks fantastic. And there's some different settings in here. First of all, you have Dolby Vision IQ, which uses the AI technology to give you the best picture quality. You have Dolby Vision Brightness, and you have Dolby Vision Game for doing all your gaming. SDR content looks great, and that's your everyday Rec 709 picture quality that you see on YouTube TV or even a cable box. But HDR is where this TV really performs. So if you're the type of person who want to get the best out of those contents like Netflix 4K, Amazon, or even Hulu, 4K HDR looks the best. The fact that this TV has up to 5,000 nits, it just brings in a lot more shadow details and a lot of specular highlights, if you will, on this television. So just keep in mind, getting a TV like this, you're going to have to upgrade your signal, especially having a TV this size, to get the best picture quality. And when it comes to blooming, those halo effects you get on the logos, it's almost non-existent on this television. These TVs have so many local dimming zones that they do a really good job controlling the brightness and the dark levels, so you will not have any issues whatsoever. And when it comes to skin tones, I'm going to give it an A+ because everything looks very natural. It's just the movie mode has that more warmer look to it. This QM8 also does a great job of upscaling. I put all the 4 pictures together to see if you can see a difference between them, and they're almost the exact same no matter if I went from 480p all the way up to 4K. So you're going to be able to watch some of your older content and get a much better picture out of it. And the last thing I want to show you is a dirty screen effect. And I will say that this TV is not perfect, but there's a lot of parameters that changes the way this television looks according to how you want to get the performance out of it. And if you are seeing any kind of dirty screen, you can go into the menu and you can play around with the local dimming zones. But overall, I think the TV is pretty rock solid when it comes to black levels. Now I understand that a lot of people don't want to add audio systems like a soundbar to their televisions, but in my opinion, it gives you the best experience. But for those who really don't want to do that, this TV does have a 2.1.2 audio system. And what that means is that there's 2 speakers that's going to give you your dialogue, there's 2 up-firing speakers to create immersive surround sound, and there's 2 subwoofers to create bass response.
This is a Tech Steve audio test. For the next few moments, sit quietly and experience the range of this TV's audio capabilities as we test the boundaries of sound.
There's a few things I want to show you about the audio system. First of all, there's one called Intelligent Settings. And under Intelligent Settings, you do have picture, but the sound is what we're more interested in. Now, you see this one that says Adaptive Volume. When you turn it on, what it's going to do is capture the audio in the room so it can detect your environment to set the EQ properly so you get the best sound quality. Now, if you notice, there's a green dot in the corner there. What that means is that the microphone on the remote control is listening, but once you set it up, all you need to do is just turn that back off. And as you can see, that green light in the corner does go back off as well, indicating that the audio is not been captured anymore. And there's other features in here like adaptive content, AI sonic adaptation, reduces the reflection of sound according to the space. And with this feature, you're going to sit where you normally do, and you're going to have the remote control in the area so the TV can listen and adjust the EQ again automatically. And there's another feature here called vertical sound field, and basically this will set up the audio for the vertical so you have low, medium, and high so you can optimize the best sound quality. But one thing I will say about this TV is that it has plenty of audio settings for just about anything that you could think of, from Dolby Atmos output over to your analog outputs and everything in between. Plus, if you need to, you can even hook up Bluetooth headphones or speakers to the television. So when it comes to audio, the QM8 is fully loaded. Now for you gamers out there, this TV has some very unique features. Now let me explain. First of all, you probably heard of motion rate. So that's basically a way to make 24 frames per second look smoother. This TV has a feature called Gaming Accelerator 240. And what that means is that when you're playing your games, it's going to use another version of motion to enhance your gaming experience to make everything much smoother. And this is going to keep away from your tearing and smearing and make everything smooth like butter. Now this TV has a game bar. At the top of it, you can see that it will show your frames, HDR, auto low latency, and it does support VRR FreeSync Premium. At the bottom of it, you have these different aiming aids that puts that circle in the middle of the screen, and there's some adjustments for that. You also can change the different picture modes for different genres so you can get the optimist gaming experience. There's also a shadow enhancer, and this will help bring out some of the shadow details whenever you're playing certain games, especially if they're in HDR. And when available, this TV will support HGIG, which is a standard for gamers when they're making the games. And you can also change the different screen sizes. Now, as far as the Xbox, we have 4K up to 120 Hertz. This TV will also support 1440p at 120 Hertz and 1080p at 120 Hertz. And the great thing about having a TV like this, it supports everything the Xbox supported, and that's including Dolby Vision gaming up to 120 Hertz. And here's a look at the video modes. As you can see, again, it supports everything that you need to get the best gaming experience. Switching over to PS5, let's go take a look at the video settings on this. Now, if we go to information and connection HDMI devices, you can see that the 4K will support up to 120 Hertz using variable refresh rate, and HDR is supported. And just like the Xbox, you can see that the VRR will support the 1440p as well as HDR, and the same for 1080p. So you have a lot of options for gaming in this 98-inch QM8.
Relentless. Unstoppable. Courage. Honor. They are what make us. Hunt him down! Right, danger one. Keep right, gap 345. Forward on traces.
There's a cache of weapons ahead.
So when it comes to gaming, this television is an absolute beast, and you're going to be very excited. The last thing we'll talk about is some of the different sizes and some of the options that are available, because all the different sizes are not the same. So one thing I want to point out here, if you go to 65 or 75 inch, it uses the center pedestal, and those sizes will support up to 4,000 nits of peak brightness with a 5,001 contrast ratio. But if you want something larger like what I have here, the 85, 98, and the 115 inch all has up to 5,000 nits and a contrast ratio of 6,001. But if you have $26,000 to spare, you can go with the 115 inch, and that TV has up to 20,000 local dimming zones. And if you have that kind of money for a television, you're going to be very surprised how well that TV performs. Now, I went to CES 2025. Let me show you some of the newer models that are coming out this year, so you can kind of get an idea if you should buy now or wait. But I will tell you, they didn't have the full lineup there.
Brightness alone is not enough. You need that brightness to be well controlled to make a great picture.
Now, this is just showing you some of the new TVs coming out for 2025, but keep in mind, I didn't have any specs, nor did they have them listed. These are pretty much prototypes at the time. But this is going to be the new 115-inch QM7K. This is going to be replacing the QM7 from 2024. They also had a 98-inch there, so you can check out. It is a premium QLED mini LED television, and it has these massive feet on it that they showcased in 2024. And on this model, they're not going to be using Onkyo audio system. They're going to be using B&O. And I'm very excited to see how well these TVs sound over the previous generation. And here's a look at the new remote control for it. And as you can see here, they did change the design, but it still has the backlights on it. One thing I can say about this TV is that it looks very promising, but it's probably going to be pretty expensive. The Q6, which was a standard LED television, is getting replaced by the new QM6K. This is going to be a mini LED television. And one thing about this TV, it has that matte finish. And as we all know, Samsung's using this type of technology on the S95. And a lot of people don't like it. It just don't seem to have that contrast that you get when you have a screen on it. All I can say is that when I was watching it, it looks like it had a pretty good picture. And I can't wait to see the consumer level to see how well it really performs. And just like the 7 Series, at this point, it appears to have the exact same type of remote control. And they also had a canvas TV, which is already on the market. But these TVs are great if you want to have that wall art type of look. It's got that anti-glare coating on it, and it has this cool little remote control that goes with it. So if you do have a very expensive house and you don't like the looks of a television, this might be the perfect one for you. To me, I think the QM7K is going to be one of the best TVs for this year, but over time we'll see how everything goes as these TVs come to the market. Now back to the QM8, a few last things I want to tell you is that it has 52 gigabytes of internal memory. It has casting capabilities. You can use Apple AirPlay and HomeKit to connect it to your device with Siri. And overall, I think it's a great television. I was very excited to get this television, and I will say that it delivered as promised. So if you guys are interested in learning more, I'll leave all the links in the description below. I'm Tech Steve. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.